Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Oilers Nation After Dark. Connor Halley with you. I've got Gavin the intern and Liam set to join me in a couple minutes here. Before we get to that, of course, we will get to the good, the bad, the oily. The Oilers falling tonight 5-4 to the Detroit Red Wings in a shootout. There's lots of things to like about this game, some things to dislike about this game as well. We'll break it down throughout the next 30 to 40 minutes here on Oilers Nation After Dark. Of course, if you're on YouTube right now, make sure you hit that like button. Good to see you all in there. Ewan, how you doing? We've got Kyle, Exrod, Tyson, Austin, Predinsky, Nelio. I don't see Rusty yet, but I'm sure Rusty's going to tune in at some point on Facebook. Make sure you get into the chat as well. We love the feedback and love to hear your opinions on all that went on. Quincy, I see you there on Facebook. Before we get to the good, the bad, the oily, brought to you by Cornerstone Insurance, we'll give you a quick rundown of what exactly happened as the Oilers lost this game, a game where they never had a lead. It was Dylan Larkin getting things going on the power play in the first. Thought it was some good puck movement by the Red Wings, but a soft goal for Jack Campbell. That made it 1-0. Mo Seider would get his fourth goal of the season to make it 2-0. Another softie to flex off Philip Broberg, but a good lesson, as Don Cherry would say for the kids out there, pucks on net. The Edmonton Oilers, no quit in their game tonight. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins will get his 25th of the season, and it was a really great play by Zach Hyman to take a hit, make a play, get the puck to Connor McDavid, and then McDavid goes in. He finds Ryan Nugent-Hopkins for a tap-in. The Oilers then trailed 2-1. At that point, Robbie Fabry would score his sixth goal of the season to make it 3-1 for the Red Wings. Once again, getting that 2-goal cushion, another power play goal. Again, good puck moving on that one. The Red Wings do a good job of whipping it around on the power play. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, though, once again, would score again. His 26th of the season for McDavid and Bouchard. Nice pass. And for this one, a big goal, right? Just keeping the Oilers in this game. That was the goal where Nugent the tap in. At this point, 1-goal game, waiting to see what would happen. Jack Campbell would make a massive save on Sundqvist to keep them in the game. Going into the third period, Ole Mata gets his 5th goal of the season to once again get that 2-goal lead for the Red Wings, and it was just an absolute rocket off the face-off from Dylan Larkin. Ole Mata allowed to step into that one, blast it past Jack Campbell. But for the Edmonton Oilers, like we said, no quit in this game. They would get back into it. Leon Draisaitl on the power play, his 31st goal of the season. A familiar Leon Draisaitl goal. We all know where he's very good at finishing from. Very, very good at finishing from. He buries it from that angle. And then Derek Ryan would get his 9th goal of the season to even things up. Klim Kostin doing great work to set that whole thing up. Takes a shot probably about 2 feet wide, but Derek Ryan there with the deflection, and that would tie things up at 4 apiece. Overtime would solve nothing. We go to a shootout, and yeah, it took 5 shooters. But eventually, and my sheet here is loaded with stuff, Pius Suter would get the shootout winner. Detroit wins 5-4. The Oilers never have a chance in this one, or never have a lead, and a frustrating one, I'm sure. What's going on with the Oilers in 3-on-3? I thought McDavid and Draisaitl were automatic. Has not been the case this year. But let's get into it. We'll bring in Gavin and Liam in a second here. We're going to do the good, the bad, the oily, brought to you by Cornerstone Insurance. Cornerstone Insurance Brokers, Edmonton's premier boutique insurance brokerage with over 90 years of success and still growing. Visit cornerstoneins.ca/nation to get an online tenant or condo insurance quote in just a few minutes and use discount code NATION for an exclusive rate. Find out why Cornerstone Insurance Brokers is ranked amongst the best in Alberta. Also, check them out on social media, on Twitter at CornerstoneINS8 and Instagram, CornerstoneYEG. For this, we bring in Liam. Liam, good evening. How you doing?
Hello, Connor. It has been a while since I've been on this show. I hit 2 of the first 4, I think, and then the first time I've been back since then. So
well, yeah. Well, keep them waiting. Keep the people waiting for what they want. Now, I like that jersey behind you. I'm also a fan of the English national team, so I like seeing that.
Yeah.
Now, how many bananas tonight?
Well, there was a few, but I got one extra right here. I came prepared with a banana tonight, and I think it's very necessary after what the Oilers just put us through for 65 plus minutes, however long the shootout takes. It was a stressful hockey game. but that's just Edmonton Oilers hockey, baby. They can just bring the entertainment even when they lose. So, yeah, it was something tonight. They probably should have won that game, but at least they got a point. That's got to count for something.
They'll take it, right? And it's Eastern Conference opponent, so the 2 points don't hurt you. Well, let's get into the good, the bad, the oily. And we start off with the good tonight, and never threw in the towel. So nice to see the Oilers fighting. As I mentioned in that recap, they were down 2-0. Didn't quit, down 3-1, down to 3-2, down 4-2. But they find a way to battle back and get that 1 point. So, I mean, on a night where they still lose in a shootout, it was good to see that they did not quit.
Yeah, and to be fair to them, they probably dominated the majority of the game, right? It was the Oilers game. Even when they were losing, it felt like it was theirs to lose, and obviously they did lose. But yeah, just continuous attack over and over again, and the resilience, which is what's helped this team get to the Western Conference Finals last season. And I think they showed it on the broadcast at 1.14 come from behind wins this year, which is just a credit to the character that this team does have in those games that they feel like they're never out of it. And quite frankly, with the players they have, they should never feel like they're out of a hockey game. So you would obviously like to see them. How do you word this? Like, you would like to see them not have as many come from behind wins by them just winning games by going ahead, but also it's not a negative thing too, I suppose.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, a good character trait to have, but ideally, you don't fall behind in the fashion that they did tonight. All right, we'll get to the bad because there is lots of bad people want to get to here. I can see it in the chat already. And I think we got to go with the penalty kill tonight. I guess on the penalty kill, 0 for 2. Like I said in the recap, the Red Wings puck movement was good, but a couple goals I'm sure you want back, especially that first one. And then, to go back to Montreal, they were the Canadians were 2 for 3 against the Oilers. So they've given up 4 goals in their last 5 penalty kill attempts. Just not good enough, and it's going to kill you.
Yeah, and you know what? The penalty kill is weird, isn't it? Because when you just look at it directly on the paper, it's in the bottom half of the league, maybe even still at bottom 5, whatever it is. But they did have that stretch there after the LA Kings game for however long that was, that they really recouped it a little bit, got a bit of momentum. But like you said, the last couple of games haven't been great. So maybe they just need to reevaluate who's on the penalty kill, what style they're doing. And I mean, you look at the goals they allowed on the penalty kill tonight. I think the first one was solely on Jack Campbell. Like, that was just bad. Like, you can't allow somebody to score from that angle when you're just clearly trying to cheat the pass. Like, you've got to, this is the NHL, you've got to anticipate that someone might shoot the puck there. And then what was the second one? The second one, I think, was the one that went off Broberg's skate, right? Or maybe deflected off Campbell. Either way, that was probably just a good play by the Detroit player to put it right in that area where it might deflect off somebody. So tough night on paper, but I think the goals that went in were more, I guess, just heads up plays by Detroit too, rather than errors from the PK. Might be a good way to put it.
On the Facebook chat here, Quincy says, "No Vinny, we don't Winnie." Yeah, That's a good line. And then Mike says, "Yeah, why wasn't Vinny in the lineup? Should have benched Bouchard. Vincent Darnay out with an illness, non-COVID illness, so that's why he wasn't being benched. He just wasn't in the lineup because physically was not good to go." All right, let's get to the oily here. And for the oily, we are going to bring in Gavin, the intern, because he's got some stats here to back it up. It's regulation or nothing for this team.
Yeah, no, it really is. What is that now? So in our last 7 games, we've gone to the extra frame. In each one of those, we have not been able to pull out the victory. So it's been a tough one in the extra frame for the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, this was an area where they were so dominant, in the last few years, actually. When McDavid and Draisaitl went out there, I feel like he could have thrown me out there with them, and they'd find a way to get the win. Like, they're just so good. We kind of joked, hey, Carlson would look great on that 3-on-3 overtime, right? Playing with McDavid and Draisaitl, but not too great in the overtime periods, and then in shootout, kind of just staying on par with that.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think you said it right there. Erik Karlsson on this team, whole man on 3-on-3. I think we saw a little bit in the All-Star game. I even think Liam tweeted about it during the All-Star game that, man, that would be fun to see Dry, McD, and EK all on 3-on-3 together.
Connor, can I ask you, what are your thoughts on Erik Karlsson? I think this is the first show since the rumors began, right, on Karlsson, or was it over the weekend too? They maybe sputtered around a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of would be since they really started gaining momentum. I know Gregor had put it out there today that there had been an offer thrown, and I'm sure Mike Greer and the Sharks are going to go back and forth. I don't know. I guess I kind of see both sides of it. Like, just for me, it's like a video game having Carlson and McDavid on the ice together and just the possibilities that could happen. Having a defenseman like Erik Karlsson, the outlet passes, his ability to jump up in the rush. He's sixth in the league in scoring, playing on a San Jose team where he doesn't have that much around him. I know Timo Meier's been, really good this year, but I love the idea of it. Obviously, you have to factor in cost and how you're going to make it happen. But, if you get Erik Karlsson on your team, I love the idea of it. And I know people will say he's not going to, shut it down defensively and make it extremely hard on the, opposing side. But if he's keeping it out of his own end, and keeping the puck in the offensive end and being a part of that, then that's going to go a long way. What do you think, Liam?
I'm kind of split on it. I think it's very unrealistic. I just don't know how it would ever get pulled off. There's so many loops you have to pull it through, but I mean, if it happened, how could you not be happy about it, right? Like, I understand the contract and everything, but we're all just playing the what if game. What if he gets hurt? What if he isn't as good next season? But what if he never gets hurt and he is as good next season and the year after? Then you have the best defenseman in the league playing alongside McDavid and Draisaitl. Like, I'm kind of in the middle. If it happens, awesome. If it doesn't happen, I really don't care that much. I think it's a very fun idea. And I loved watching it at the All-Star game, and it was probably the only good thing that happened that weekend. So I'll take it. But there is a lot of smoke going on. And one thing that does make me happy about it is that Ken Holland is calling. Ken Holland is trying to do something with his team to get them to the next level. And I think that's the most important thing out of all of this, because everyone just keeps saying how he's going to sit on his hands. I truly do not believe that. I think Ken Holland will make a couple of moves. And if he's looking at Erik Karlsson, he's probably looking at a few of his players as well.
I truly do believe that Ken Holland has, whenever a name pops up, he calls just to see what it is. What's the offer going to look like? What do they want? Like, I just think he's dialed in around the league and finds a way to see what it is, just to see if it might be something worth looking at. Someone did on the YouTube chat here, why are we so bad in shootouts, from some stranger? No, he said Leon is really bad in shootouts. Okay. So the one thing, like, I noticed it. McDavid had the goal. He came down. He took the shot, right? The three other shooters to start off with, Hyman, Draisaitl, and Nuge, all going deep. I don't know if there's anything to it, but I mean, when I see McDavid beat the goalie on with the shot, that's probably where I'm going. It was a perfect play shot, but I wonder if there's any in shootout adjustment here, because Ville Husso was outstanding tonight. 41 saves on 45 shots. Obviously kept the Red Wings in this game. But yeah, it's a little bit weird that the team does seem to continue to struggle in the shootout.
Yeah, and like I don't understand like why people kind of come at Draisaitl for his shootout attempts either, because who else do you really want to shoot in that spot? Leon Draisaitl is one of the best snipers in the NHL, and like Patrick Kane, I'm sorry, not Patrick Kane. We're talking trades earlier today. Exactly, foreshadowing that. Evander Kane. People always say, Evander Kane should be in the shootout over Leon Draisaitl, but now he's 3 for 23 in his career in the shootout. So I don't know.
That was a bad
really
attempt too.
Yeah, that was. So I don't really think that's fair to come after Draisaitl for his shootouts attempts, kind of thing.
I think the shootout is an absolute crapshoot. Obviously, I think everyone has that opinion. It kind of is what it is, but you look at the guys, like, I wonder what Brian McLeod could do. I wonder if there's like a guy who has like less expectations to score, for example. Like, I think we'll all remember forever the Linus Olmark attempt.
Yeah, the spinorama at
the fake shot, smacks it in, NHL debut. Like, maybe that's what the Oilers need. Now, I'm not expecting everyone to come up and do that, but maybe someone like, hey, like Warren Fogle comes up. I know
let's get Vinny in there. Might as well. Vinny, Winnie. So that's a fact. Hey, we need it for the shootout. Vinny, Annie in the shootout. We'll pull out a win. So
yeah, exactly.
We cracked it. We cracked the case right there.
I think that's what they're gonna look at. Like, I don't know. I truly put no weight into the shootout at all. Like you said tonight, Zach Hyman, that was his first shootout attempt ever. Like, that is absolutely insane. First of all, he's never attempted it before, but it's just like, whatever. See what happens. If you win, you win. If you don't, you don't.
I'd like to see Holloway in that situation.
Maybe Holloway. But the overtime, it shouldn't even be going to a shootout with the players that we have. It should be stopped before we even get there. Maybe they got to adjust
Oh,
something there.
well, especially with the speed that we have too, right? Like it's like 3-on-3, we should be dominating, right? You have Connor McDavid on our team. That speed alone in overtime should get us that win.
Funny that Hyman, you say first ever shootout attempt. I mean, with the Leafs, obviously, probably Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares, then maybe Hyman, but I'm sure there's other guys with the Oilers, McDavid, Draisaitl, Nuge. Yeah, he's been behind some pretty good shooters. You guys mentioned Joe or Holloway. That's Joe on Facebook says that one. Chemo says put Derek Ryan in the shootout. We also had some from McLeod. I mean, McLeod shows some skill every once in a while. Some stranger says Devin Shore would have scored in a shootout. Shoresy.
Name's Buddy.
Devin, scroll to everybody, please.
And for the Derek Ryan, I think only if we're at home, because I swear, like, I think 8 of his 9 goals are at home. So if we're going to shoot out again at home, let's do it.
Yeah. Alex says, why did Hyman go backhand, or did Hyman go backhand? I believe that's how he scored in the shootout, or the penalty shot, sorry. So maybe confident. Davin says 2 goals went off Broberg. What can they do? Yeah, 2 bad bounces. You feel for Philip Broberg, obviously, kind of marking up his man and goes off him. What can you do? Holloway should be scoring every 5 games from Spectral Flop. I guess the only time, or the only issue with that is sometimes he's not getting too many minutes and maybe not playing with top-end talent. And X-Rod says Eck would have won the shootout. Eric Carlson for now. Yeah, just abbreviated it there. Couple things to look at here. Should just let you guys know. Now, with that tie, Edmonton is tied with Seattle for 3rd place in the Pacific with 66 points. In terms of individual stats, Connor McDavid now up to 99 on the season. Leon Draisaitl up to 80. That's good for 2nd in the league. Nuge jumps up to 66 and Zach Hyman at 64. Who do you guys think finishes with more points, Nuge or Hyman?
I think Nuge. I think Nuge will get it. I just think he could maybe grab a few more goals, and you can guarantee Zach Hyman's probably got 4 or 5 left to get disallowed this season. So I'll stick with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins to get on the train. But I couldn't believe the stats they popped up on the screen today for what pace Zach Hyman was on, like 96 points on the year. Like, it's just incredible what him and Nugent-Hopkins have been able to do to help elevate this offense to a new level.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's hard to not pick Nuge right now, because I think now after tonight he's tied for 10th in the NHL in scoring. So even though he didn't make the All-Star game, he's an All-Star in my heart. So
yep.
Ewan says Nuge for points. And so, okay, Zach Hyman, a very good hockey player, obviously, signs with the Oilers, career highs, and now he's on pace for 96 points. Do you think there's going to become a point where players potentially looking to cash in sign with the Oilers on 1-year deals, just trying to okay, well, if I have one good year there, maybe somebody will pay me? We see it happening in other sports, right? Where players will put themselves in a good situation for 1 year. I wonder if we're going to start to see that effect with the Oilers, where players take discounted contracts for a chance to really put up some big numbers.
Well, it's a different situation, but look at Patrick Maroon. Right, he comes here, he scores 28 goals, he got paid, and now look at him, right? So a little bit of a different situation, but I see where you're coming from on that.
Yeah, I think hopefully it would be my answer. It'd be nice to get a few of those extra bodies in here, and I mean, eventually, I think the Oilers are just gonna start getting those guys who, looking to rebound from a bad year too, right? Like that. Those are the kind of guys I think the Oilers need to start looking at. I think Tyler Bertuzzi is a free agent at the end of this season, right?
Yes.
I think, he is a very intriguing player. He's gone from.
I'm high on him.
Yeah, he's present on the ice. You see him every time I watch the Red Wings. He's very apparent that he's out there. He scored 30 goals last season. Now he has 2 this season. Like, he's a guy I'd kind of be looking at in the summer, being like, okay, well, what are you going to do if I give you $3 million for a year or something like that, let's say, right? To kind of fill the question in a little bit. Like, he's kind of a guy that maybe you could get on a bit of a bargain after what he's gone through this season. Yeah,
you said it right there. It's a buy low situation for Tyler Bertuzzi, right? And he's obviously showed that he can score at the NHL level, so why not?
Harold on Facebook says, here is a guy barely able to talk, criticizing the coach. Proves all you have to do is be an idiot to have a talk show. Was that? I don't know who these are referring to. Did anyone criticize the coach? And also says, here, a guy. So, Harold, you got to spell check before you hit the enter button. But I don't know. I don't think anyone's criticizing the coach here. But
no, I'm on Team Woody from day one.
Yeah. I think everyone's pretty happy with what he's done since taking over. Got his team to the conference final. His team's, playing good hockey right now. No criticizing the coach here, Harold. But thank you for watching. We do appreciate that.
Take my Darnay in the show with a grain of salt. I promise I was not being serious.
I just want to see him let a clapper go, like cross the blue line and let it rip, see what he can do. Worked well for Ole Matt on that goal. That was a pretty good shot there. Well, let's talk about Vinny Darnay. He obviously didn't play in this game tonight, has the sickness, not good to go. So with that, the Oilers go 12-6 instead of 11-7. I saw on social media, a lot of people not exactly thrilled with that one, but what can you do? That was the hand that was dealt to them tonight. What do you guys think about the Oilers 12-6 versus 11-7? Does it make that big of a difference?
I actually think it makes a really big difference, which is so strange because I'd honestly never heard of anybody playing 11-7 until Jay Woodcroft came to the Oilers. And now all of a sudden, I just think about it all the time, every time my other teams are doing it. Like, I'm so shocked this isn't something every NHL team tries to do. Maybe they do it, I'm just blind to it all. But yeah, it's definitely different because now you don't see McDavid and Draisaitl together as much. Like we did see a little bit where Derek Ryan was with McDavid a little bit more often, and maybe that's just rotating McDavid through lines. But I do like it, and I think the Oilers missed Vincent Desharnais a little bit tonight too. Like his presence is physically is something. He's like tough out there. He can shoot from his office, and it'll take it's like a little pinball when it goes through there. It just hits everything that moves and ends up in the back of the net. So I love what Vincent Desharnais has done to this team. I love how he allows Jay Woodcroft to adapt in multiple ways with the forward group. Like he has just been massive for this club, and perfect time too.
Yeah, I mean, and I love the 11-7. Like you said, obviously you have that option to rotate McDavid and Draisaitl throughout the lineup, get them a little more ice time, and Vincent Desharnais on the penalty kill, having that whatever his reach is, I don't know what it is, like 10 feet to get in the way of passing lanes. I think that's obviously nice to have as well. You miss out on that one for sure. Now, here's something for you guys, and maybe I'll get burned at the stake for this one. But do you ever think that McDavid maybe needs to take a little more look at shooting the puck? 3-on-2, he had an opportunity when the game was 3-2, and he's breaking in. I believe it was a 2-on-1, and he looks to make the pass. Now, just going to bring up the statistics here, so I'm 100% correct. But when it comes to goals, Connor McDavid is 42. He's been the best goal scorer in the NHL. Do you guys ever have those moments when you're watching? And I know he's the best playmaker in the NHL. But when he has an opportunity to shoot, a lot of times I'm like, just take it, man. Like, you have a great shot. Just do it. Yeah. Maybe I'm out to lunch here. What do you guys think?
No, you're definitely not, Connor. I think on 2-3 occasions today, I found myself yelling at the TV, like shoot the puck in that situation. And we've seen that he could pick corners. He went 8 for 8. I know it's different. It is a skills competition, the All-Star game. But, man, the guy's lethal shooting the puck, right? And he puts himself in the situations with how fast he is and with his IQ altogether. So, yeah, 100% I want to see him shoot the puck a little bit more.
Do you know what? I know those moments you're thinking of, and I agree, but I would love to see him shoot more on the power play. There's a couple of times when he's kind of been in that spot, and the one time is available for him to hit, but he doesn't trust himself, it feels like, to rip it. And he can shoot the puck. Like you said, he has 42 goals this season. And when he's in that Draisaitl spot, there was one point tonight, I think he might have been in the third period on that power play at the end there, where he had the chance and the net was wide open. And he kind of hesitated on it, and then he went to pass, and I think the puck ended up out of the zone. But sometimes I find that's just a problem with his team in general, where they don't want to shoot the puck and they want that extra pass to be pretty. It's like sometimes you just got to rip it on net, and something will happen. Something will happen. That's why Vinny's so effective from his office. Like I just said, he just literally shoots the puck and something happens. So they gotta take the Vinny approach.
Well, and I mean, like you look at obviously his goal in the shootout, beautiful, but aren't in.
Yeah, exactly, right there.
Now we should always say this with a grain of salt. Like, we're sitting in our living rooms talking about the game, he's playing it. It happens a lot faster. And he had 8 shots tonight. So, I mean, he was firing the biscuit. But it just maybe times where it's like, man, you got to realize how good you are. Just take the shot because you are that good. And you know what? We're not being met with too much resistance here on the chat. A lot of people saying we need 5+ shots a game minimum. Yeah, well, he got 8 tonight. So hopefully you went to Betway and you threw a couple bucks down. I think the line was 3.5 shots for McDavid. Yeah. Take the over and continue to do so. Gavin, I know yesterday you had the video for Betway. Did you do anything today? Any videos or recommendations you had?
Yes, I went 2 for 2 yesterday, and then I followed it up with an 0 for 2 today. I went Oilers puck line. Obviously, that didn't happen. And then my other one was Nuge on the Nuge power play point. So I didn't get that one either, but back at it tomorrow.
William, how about you? Did you go to Betway before the game?
I did my Betway bets today with Tyler and Jay. Jay was 0-4 heading into the game, so I can't remember.
He blamed it on his profile picture too.
He actually, you know what? He went 0-5 because he bet on the Oilers to win and over 6.5 goals combined. So yeah, that one didn't go as well. But I just went with the I think I went Oilers win and McDavid goal, I think is what I did, and maybe the over as well. So that obviously missed because the Oilers didn't win. So yeah, I think all three of us missed today.
And then you're also talking, you were going to sprinkle some on McDavid, 3+ points because you thought he was going to hit 100 tonight. He was close. Yes. He was close. One away.
Son of a gun. Maybe next time.
Yeah, that would have been one you were confident in going into the overtime period as well. Like that, you just assume they'll find a way to get it done. So Betway 19+, and because sometimes we go 0 for 2 or 0 for 4, do so responsibly. There's the advice right there. Lots of not text messages coming in here on YouTube. We got one here from Gorgeous George. Yep, PK suffered without Vinny D. 100%. Sure. Rusty, the reckless optimist. He's here, you guys. It took him a little while.
I made an appearance.
He's here. Tough game, by points in 12 of 13. Tampa just lost to Arizona in the shootout. Take a point and get ready for the Rangers on Friday. Let's go Oilers. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe that. I looked at NHL.com and saw the Lightning and Coyotes scoreless going into overtime. Now, Coyotes get the win. Did you guys see was it Connor? Oh,
Ingram? Connor Ingram?
Well, Connor Ingram, yeah. He had the massive, was it 45 saves tonight against Tampa? And then I'm just going to find the quote here. Sorry, Clayton Keller.
Clayton Keller, that was it, yeah.
His, we got a good burst of energy there over the break, he said, then laughed. I'm sure the GM's not too happy about it. Obviously, it's shot at Armstrong and their plans to tank for Connor Bedard. So, yeah, I like that little sass there from Clayton Keller. Yeah, nice for the Oilers not to be in that tank mode right now.
Oh, yeah. The Yotes now have points in 7 straight. They you know what? I think about this a lot. And when two things. One, there's never an easy game in the NHL. So when people rip on the Oilers for losing against easy opponents, they got to beat somebody. It happens to literally every single team in the NHL loses to a bad team. Also, Detroit isn't that bad of a team, which a lot of people want to throw out there. I think they're like 4 points out of a playoff spot.
Well, and now they're 7-3 in their last 10, right? And they're a good hockey team, right?
Exactly. Like, there's a lot of things that go into it. And the other thing too, which obviously, if you're a bad team, you want the first overall pick and you want your best chances. You also have to go to the lottery, and that determines it all. Yeah. But sometimes rebuilding, you need a positive environment for these players to come into. The Oilers saw it for so long with all their first overall picks, where they would come into this environment and it was so dull because all it knew was a losing culture. Where now, if you look at Arizona, I don't know where they are in the standings, probably really close to the bottom.
Fourth last.
There you go. But at least they've got some momentum now going forward. So then when guys like Dylan Guenther come back in next season, Cooley, like whoever else they get, right? At least it's something to build upon at this point. So yeah, finishing last isn't always a positive thing by any means because you get that first pick.
Well, just remember Austin Matthews will be there in a few years, and the Coyotes are turning things around because players always want to play in their hometown. If the Leafs have taught us anything, that's what's going to happen.
Just like Stamkos.
just like right? Stamkos. Oh, yeah, man. Florida resident. Brad says, "Damn, didn't think he had 8 tonight. Thanks for that." Yeah, I mean, I think McDavid had 4 early in the third period, midway through the third, and then that overtime period obviously is always going to help. But yeah, I finished with 8 shots on the night. Big thank you. We read Rusty's text. Always good to have Rusty chime in because he brings kind of that stability, and it's not as doom and gloom. Rusty helps you find that zen spot. So good for that one. If you are watching on the YouTube channel, make sure you hit the like button. Also on Facebook, I don't know what the equivalent is. There's a like button there on Facebook, so
I
hit
believe
that one.
the star button. Tyler
Star?
said the star something the other day. I don't know what it means.
We'll go with that. We'll go with the star button.
Yeah,
Hit the
see a
star button if you're there.
hit it.
Quincy, Ron, Harold, Joe, Dwayne, Mike, Bassam, all you guys. Mark, hit that like button. Ron says time to start up. Oh, we just got another one. Peter jumps in. Okay, Ron, time to forget about the winning streak. Start talking about winning 1 out of 4 games versus the basement of the league. Gross. And that seems to be a problem maybe for the Oilers, playing to their opponent's level. I think, when you have McDavid and Draisaitl, you're always going to get the attention of every team. They're going to want to show up and have a good performance. But, I mean, we're going to find out in these next 2 games. You got the Rangers on Friday, and then it's the Colorado Avalanche, I believe. So we're going to see. I mean, the Oilers are going to get tested in the next couple games here. Yeah, the Avs on Sunday, nice early 1 o'clock start, and the Rangers on Friday, 7 o'clock. You guys think they elevate their game in these ones and try to play up to their opponent's level?
I think they'll be fine as long as they can sharpen things up in their own zone a little bit. Like tonight, like we said, they got a couple of bad bounces. The one that goes in off Broberg, straight off his back and through Campbell, that one's not great. And then the penalty kill too. I think it'll get better for them going forward. I would like to see more from Draisaitl and maybe even Evander Kane to that point too. I think those 2 guys maybe need to step up a little bit, but also to defend them too. Like they both missed practice this week. I believe Kane was an illness, so clearly something's going through the team at the moment. And then also, I think they said upper body injury for Leon Draisaitl too. So
yeah, like a nagging upper body injury.
Yeah, and you know what? If I'm the Oilers, I would evaluate that and think, okay, does this guy need to play tonight? As in tonight that just happened? Like, should we just rest him for the Rangers Colorado game? But Draisaitl's not the type of player that's just going to sit on the sidelines if he doesn't have to. So it is what it is. But I think the Oilers will be fine against the Rangers and Colorado. I think they owe always a good performance against Colorado, to be honest.
On YouTube, Ewan says Rusty is the heart and soul of the chat. Dr. Gonzo, the reckless optimist, the savior. Yep, for sure. Dr. Gonzo also says 60 people in the chat. We got to hit 30 likes. Yeah, let's make sure we hit 30 and let's aim a little higher. Brad says, I'm usually a podcast guy, so this is kind of cool to be in the chats. Austin says, yeah, it's nice to talk to the live with the boys. And Tyson says it's a good community here in the Oilers Nation. Yes, all you guys, thank you. We do appreciate you chiming in here. We love your thoughts and feedback. And again, hit that like button. I joked earlier, I want people to search Oilers Connor, and I want this thing to pop up. Like, I don't know if that would actually ever work, but yeah, McDavid stealing all that stuff right there. We got to get in there. Yeah, lots going on here. So, do you guys think Jacob Chychrun is done with the Oilers? Like, are those rumors out the window? Do you think it's just a matter of time before Chychrun ends up with the LA Kings?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I don't think Chychrun's coming here knowing. Like, another team to keep an eye on too that I've been hearing too is Columbus as well.
Really?
Yeah. Columbus is very interesting because they were not supposed to be bad this season, but the rumor was that Columbus trades Gavrikov, and with those assets, they then acquired Jacob Chychrun. And next season, when they have a healthy roster with Werenski back, what's his name? Jacob Voracek is back too, and just the guys all around that Gaudreau, right? Whoever else they have, and they'll be a much better team in the Eastern Conference. So this is an interesting one. But the Chychrun to the Oilers, I don't see it happening here. I think it's interesting because you look at what what Arizona supposedly wanted from LA was Quinton Byfield or Brent Clark. Well, the Oilers don't have either of those guys. They might have a Brent Clark and Dylan Holloway, but I don't think the Oilers would want to. Quinton Byfield and Dylan Holloway, but I don't think the Oilers would want to move that for him because Holloway is going to be a big part of his future. And Chychrun, yes, I think he would make the team better, but I don't know. The value is just seems wild to me with everything considered. Like, they're not even playing him at the moment because of this trade. So clearly, whatever they had done didn't or isn't going to happen at the moment. I just think it's a very intriguing deal. Like, what if he's there after the deadline? They're obviously going to play him again, right? Like, it's just so strange.
Just seeing here now, Daniel Nugent Bowman of The Athletic saying and this comes from Jay Woodcroft, Vinny Darnay showed up at the rink, wasn't feeling well. So last minute scratch, maybe tried to gut it out. But yeah, as we've alluded to, there is something going around that room. I don't think I'd like a 24-hour flu yesterday. I'm not envious of what this team's going through, man. Like I was on the couch with a heated blanket and like 5 blankets on top of me, just could not get warm. It was not a fun Tuesday for me. So yeah, hopefully that'll pass through the room sooner than later. Just looking at the standings here. So right now the Oilers are in the number 1 wild card spot. If the season were to end today, that's a matchup with Vegas, but there's still 27 games left in the Oilers' schedule. The Kraken hold down the 3rd spot, 66 points. The Kings, 67. We're not even going to rule out that first place spot yet, are we? Like the Vegas Golden Knights, the goaltending concerns there. The Kings, who knows? Maybe they go aggressive at the deadline and bring some pieces in Seattle. It seems like we're always just like, when will they start to drop off? Still, I think a lot of reason for Oilers fans to be optimistic that they can lock down that number 1 spot in the Pacific.
Yeah, I think it's right there for them to take. I think with everything, but the big thing is, they got to win these next 2 games or show that they can beat good teams, and then I think it's right there for the taking for them. But they've got a lot of games left against divisional opponents, which are going to be crucial. I think they play LA one more time, maybe, and then they play Vegas twice. I think they have one more game maybe against Seattle, and then they've got a bunch against San Jose. And what's the other bad team in our division? Anaheim. That's the one. So win those games, you might have a chance. But I think the top 3 is 100% where the Oilers need to be aiming at least. And then if you get in there, then maybe you go get the top spot. A lot of people were saying, like, do the Oilers want it? Like, what if Colorado gets into a wild card spot? You can't think like that. And
we'd have to beat them anyways, most likely, though. You know what I mean? Like
exactly. If you want to win the top, you got to beat the best. That's what it is. If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. So it doesn't matter who you play in the first round. And you know what? Like Toronto Maple Leafs play Tampa Bay or Boston every single year in the first round. I'm sure they want easier opponents too. But it's the NHL playoffs, so you got to win them.
Steven says 2 days ago, everyone was saying Chychrun to LA was pretty much done, but it hasn't happened yet. So ... Yeah, I mean, it's weird. I feel like if you're Jacob Chychrun, at some point you're going to say, let's make this happen or get me back out there because I don't want to sit in the press box. Gorgeous George asked a question. I was going to get to it. Let's get to it now. Who starts on Friday, soup or stew? What do you think, Liam?
Do you know what? I'd probably go back to Campbell. I think Campbell is the starter on this team at the moment, if you can really determine one between the two. But he had a bad first period, I think is fair to say, but then bounced back reasonably well in the back 40. He made that huge save in the 3rd period. That was on Bertuzzi, I think it was actually. So yeah, like I think Campbell is just the hot goalie right now. You're playing a New York Rangers team that just got Tarasenko for a bag of pucks. So yeah. I would go with Campbell.
Yeah, I'm with you too, Liam. I'd go back to Campbell here. You said it yourself. He is our starter, and he's 8-1-1 now in his last 10 starts. So he is our number 1. So yeah, I'd ride with Campbell ahead again. Yeah,
you mentioned that save on Bertuzzi. The game was 4-4. That was a massive save in the hockey game. And then we talked about it earlier on, but he also had a big save on Sundqvist when it was 3-2. So, although there were some softies in that game, Jack Campbell, when needed, made some absolutely massive saves for this Oilers team here.
And earlier in the year, he'd throw into the towel too. Like if he gave up like those easier goals early on in the game, he would have made those key saves later on in the game too. So that's something too.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you want your goalie at its best when the game is tight.
Yeah.
And Campbell certainly was doing that. You guys noticed that the Red Wings had 7 shots in every period?
I did not. I'm just glad it's not 6.
That would be a bad sign. The Oilers, on the other hand, had 10, 16, and 17. So, Ville Husso wasn't given a star tonight. That's wild to me.
Who got it? I didn't even see.
It was Nuge, Larkin, and McDavid.
I think when a goalie makes as many saves as he does, you've probably got to give him 1 and 3 in the shootout as well.
I was just going to say, even him in the shootout too. So yeah, I probably would have given him 1 as well.
Maybe a little biased in Edmonton. Who knows? On the YouTube chat, F. That's a great name, F. I'm going to go Stu. Now, Austin Stu. UN says we'll give Stu a chance. So it seems like a lot of people going with Stu. You guys go with Campbell. I was kind of leading Skinner just to give him a shot, but
That's fair.
Hearing from you both kind of swayed me back to Campbell. Maybe give him that opportunity.
I'm
We'll
comfortable
see.
with both. So either way we go, I'm good with.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's kind of been the case for a while now. Either way, both goalies are giving you a chance to win. Brad says, imagine the shenanigans if the Real Life podcast had a live chat. You guys are in the office with them. Does Brad have a point here?
It would be not good for the internet. I don't know if it would be internet proof for some of that stuff, especially if Wanye gets a hold of some of it. He could run with it for sure. But I would love to see those. They actually, you know what? They did do a live stream once, and it was a lot of fun. So I know there's been talk about that maybe happening again. So who knows?
Is that when they did one at Montana's there?
The what? Which one? Sorry. Oh,
When they had Montana's.
No, it was against the Dallas Stars at the office last season. I think it was like last November, October, and yeah, the whole gang was there, and they went live, and I think the others lost like 4-1 or something like that. So it was a bit of a deflated stream. So
maybe
next
anticlimactic.
time we'll figure it out. But yeah, I have a question for you guys. So Kylie Yamamoto has got to come off the LTIR at some point here. It has got to happen. What are they doing? Like, what is the next move for the Oilers? Do you think it's Puljujarvi? Do you think it's Fogle? Do you think it's like being waived? Do you think it's a trade? Like, what are you expecting to happen? Because I think this goes down tomorrow. This has to go down tomorrow. Otherwise, Yamamoto's not back till next week.
Personally, I think it's Jesse Puljujarvi. Good to see him out there. Just watching him, it just doesn't seem like it's all clicking. Even, some of the shot selections he takes, and I'm going to contradict myself here because I'm pretty sure I said the Red Wings, putting pucks on net was a good thing for them. But there's times he just throws it on net, and it's just like there's no hope. That's not going to beat an NHL goalie. So I don't like to see it because I really root for the guy, but I think it's Jesse Puljujarvi.
Yeah, like it has to be Puljujarvi, right? But I'll ask you guys, do you think it's a deal, or do you just think we send him down and put him through waivers?
I think they'll put him through waivers and then hope no one claims him and then maybe trade him from there. I do think he does hold a little bit more value if he gets through through the waivers for a team, because similar to Klim Kostin, when the others got him, he can start in wherever they wanted to play, whatever their American League team is, rather than have to sign him in the NHL and then try and put him through waivers yourself and potentially lose him. So I do think if the Oilers put him through, it would clear, and then from there they would trade him to wherever that may be.
I have to ask you guys this one. Well, first off, are you guys Simpsons fans at all?
I'm familiar with the program.
Have you ever the one where they go to New York and Bart goes to Mad Magazine's office?
Oh yes, yeah, I remember that one.
No, I don't know that one.
So basically, it seems boring, but then they open up the door and there's all these shenanigans going on in the office. The chat just leads me because they're talking about they're talking about Oily fans and how X-rated that could get. What is Oilers Nation, the office, like on a day-to-day basis? Because I went in, I've only been there once. I had to pick up the flag you see behind me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I got a chance to meet everyone, but there were so many people, and it was like it was very quick, and everyone was working very hard. But what's it like there day-to-day?
Gavin, you're there every day and you're new to it all. Yeah. I'll let you take the question first. What has it been like for you your first couple of months, experience-wise, I guess?
Yeah. I guess like no day's the same, I guess is like kind of the way I'll put it. One day you'll have Waz making 5 TikToks and like just doing his thing, walking around. And the thing about Waz too, he doesn't sit down and do his work. He'll literally walk around the whole office and then I'll notice he's over my shoulder, just watching what I'm doing, like, whoa. So there's that. No, but like seriously, and then most of the time, like everyone's just doing their own work, kind of keeping to themselves. But no, it's an awesome environment.
It can be a little chaotic sometimes. I think when the fun and games begin, they are hard to stop, I guess is a good way to put it. There's definitely a lot of people in that office that like to have a lot of fun, including myself. I like to think I go in there and maybe cause a little bit of a ruckus from day to day, and It's good. I think the best part about Oilers Nation at headquarters is everybody has a personality and nobody's afraid to show it off. The other day, I it was all quiet and I just yelled across the room, but they were on a halftime show on.
That's
They were on a halftime show on, and we watched.
And then
it for
everyone
15
left.
minutes.
And then I was just left at the office by myself, and I have Rihanna playing. Then right after that, Miley Cyrus comes on with her new music video. So
Hit
wild.
after hit. It's good. We have a lot of fun. There was the one the other day of when I dressed Tyler up as Snoopy.
Oh,
And
that's
then we
cool.
got him on the live show. That was really funny, just the kind of shenanigans beforehand. And then guys like Coombs, Zach, whoever it may be. There's a lot of fun stuff going on there.
Yeah, Alex says we need Oily fans merch. Tarps off for the nude. Liam, eat a banana. Pour it on. Yeah. I don't know. The people want to watch you eat a banana. We're transitioning into some weird stuff here. We gotta like turn your mic up for this one. There you go.
This is the first time I've ate a banana live.
You're not gonna get that anywhere other than Oilers Nation After Dark. Oilers fans, I mean, that's hilarious. That's clever. I mean, you guys got to talk to the people who do the merch and make something happen. Some sort of subscription service we can, sell for more stuff. It'll literally be like Tyler going live from his bed, Liam eating bananas. I don't know what else would go along with it, but there's something there.
Yeah, well, even like Bagmouth today was in the chat for the Oilers Nation every day, and he was saying that how Tyler's going to get a calendar going for the next year, so his own calendar.
What if Bag Milk on Oily fans, you saw his face?
That would cost a lot of money.
That would, yeah. That'd be like the premium edition.
That would, yeah. You got to pay a lot. That's like if you ask how much, you can't afford it. That's how much that's going to cost you. Guys, we'll probably wrap this one up in a couple of minutes here. Looking ahead to Friday, should be a fun one. Oilers taking on the New York Rangers. I believe the Rangers beat the Vancouver Canucks tonight. I want to say 6-4, but I cannot confirm that as 6-4. I believe a 7 o'clock start down at the Ice District. What do you guys think in terms of predictions? Liam, we'll start with you.
For the Rangers game? Was it? Sorry,
yes,
I was concentrating, kind of get that last piece of banana down my throat. So don't clip that. The Rangers game. I think the Oilers will win. I really do. I think it'll be a very close, fun game, maybe back and forth. But for the last 10, 15 minutes or so, I could see the Oilers really pumping up the Jets. The Rogers Place getting everybody going in that rink, and the Oilers pushing for it. And Connor McDavid will hit .101 in that game. That's what I'll go with. I think McDavid will 100%. He'll get the 100th point in the next game. I think he'll bag a couple of goals with it too.
What do you think, Gavin?
Yeah, I think we pulled the win as well. I think it's going to kind of. So we beat them 4-3 back in November. I think it's going to kind of be the similar story. I agree. I think McDavid will definitely hit 100. I'm going to go 102. And I think we pulled let's go 5-2 victory.
Ooh, 5-2. I like that. I'm going to say 3-2. I think the Oilers, there's got to be a focus on locking it down defensively. They're just giving up too many opportunities. We saw it against Montreal. We saw it tonight. Shut it down offensively, and at the same time, fix up that PK. Clean that up, and I think the Oilers can get back on the winning side of things. Also should mention, because I hear it's a rumor, Liam, maybe you can give us some input into this one, but I've heard there's a couple spots open for the Oilers Nation vacation, March 10th to 12th. You can see the Oilers Leafs staying at the Royal York Hotel. Nationgear.ca is where you can go if you're wanting to go on that one.
Yep.
An experience powered by AMA Travel. There might be a couple spots open. So have you heard that rumor? Is that true?
The rumors are true. There is very limited. There is less than 5, but more than 0. So somewhere in there is what's available last time I heard. But the Nation vacations are fantastic. We just went to Vegas, whatever that was, a couple of months ago. Maybe it was, about a month ago, actually.
Yeah,
feels like forever.
almost exactly.
So much fun. And AMA Travel made it perfect. Everything you needed on that trip, they provided for you, and it was a very easy trip to just go through. So I think this one it's a little bit different. It's going to be bad and bushy, as I like to call it, instead of bougie, but it'll be a good one. If you're looking for a nice trip to Toronto, I think this is the one you got to hit up.
I mentioned it'd be like a classy affair compared to Vegas, and Jay was on, and he was like, "Well, it's like food and drinks in the suite, so it might not be." And
On paper, it will be. Right?
on paper, but it's not. Yeah, I've heard I heard about what happened last time you guys went out to Toronto, and heard it was a pretty good time, like after dark.
Yeah, words shall not be spoken.
All right, Tyson says 4-0 first shutout of the season.
That's what I like to hear.
Austin says Oilers will go down early, storm all the way back. There will be a McD goal 2.0. Vinny take Trouba and proceeds to bane him, figuratively or literally, from Ewan. And Brad Bay, don't clip that. Classic line from Liam after finishing his banana. Okay, well, yeah, that's going to do it for us here on the show. I love that the streak continues. Still, nobody has predicted an Oilers loss when we do our predictions at the end. So
Never.
We just expect them to win every single game. Big thank you to Cornerstone Insurance. Go to cornerstoneins.ca/nation. Get an online tenant or condo insurance quote. And make sure you use a code NATION for an exclusive rate. Betway, if you want to have some fun. I know you guys share your bets online on Twitter, so people can check those out as well. 19 plus, bet responsibly with Betway. And, of course, AMA Travels, we just talked about. The Nation Vacation. Less than 5 spots available, but more than 0. AMA Travel. Shout out to them, and shout out to everyone for tuning in tonight. The people who hung around on YouTube, Tyson Austin. Oh, Liam, you're in there. I see ya.
I'm here. I'm playing
Gorgeous,
along.
Gorgeous George, Steven, Ewan, Dr. Gonzo's always here. Alex, everyone. Rusty the Reckless Optimist. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Thank you for tuning in tonight. And again, thank you to Gavin. Thank you, Liam. Appreciate you guys coming on here tonight and getting in the conversation. We will talk to you guys Friday after the Oilers hopefully beat the New York Rangers.